Hi, in this video, we're going to go through kind of a beginner's guide slash tutorial to Infinite Campus. So once you log into Infinite Campus, you're going to be on a page that looks something like this. You want to make sure that you're in the current school year. It says 22 to 23 or whatever the current school year might be. And then you're going to want to click on this waffle icon and go to the instruction tab. Once you get to the instruction tab, this is kind of your dashboard. This is where you're going to access a bunch of stuff that you're going to use in your classroom, your gradebook, all of that fun stuff. I did create a separate tutorial on setting up a gradebook, so you're going to want to make sure you watch that because that's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to do as a new teacher at the beginning of every school year. You want to make sure your gradebook's set up. So make sure you watch that tutorial video first. But we're going to go ahead and go into the gradebook, and I'm going to show you how you can actually add grades to the gradebook. So first of all, you want to make sure that you are on the correct term, so whichever term you're on, and you want to make sure that your task is set to gradebook, not to semester grade, because that'll really mess you up. And then whatever class you're wanting to add a grade for, just make sure you're on that class. And yes, you can add classes for you can add grades for multiple classes, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So when you're ready to add a grade in Infinite Campus, you're going to hit this add button. And what this will do is it'll pull up this little dashboard here for you. So you're going to go ahead and set the title of whatever assignment it is. So maybe this is like quiz 1 that I'm setting the assignment for. You can put in the date that it was assigned or the date that you gave the quiz, the end date. It's kind of up to you, whatever you want. And then you have to establish some sort of abbreviation for your assignment. So that'll be what shows up here in your gradebook. It'll have all of the abbreviations at the top. So something that just makes it easy for you to find if you need to. For quizzes, I usually like to label it quiz, or if it's on a specific topic, I like to do an abbreviation of the topic. Now, this isn't the important part. This is where we select the category that it goes into. So if you have your gradebook kind of broken up into different categories, like, you're doing 30% for homework, 30% for tests and quizzes, and maybe 30% for projects and 10% for the final, you want to make sure that you are assigning this assignment to the correct category. If you're doing just a points-based system, then you should never have to change this for your class, which is kind of nice. Okay, so just make sure that you do select the correct category, and I currently only have 2 categories in my gradebook. So we'll just put it under daily work for now. And then you want to establish how many points it's worth. So, quiz 1, I don't know, maybe it's worth 25 points, right? And then you shouldn't ever have to mess with the multiplier. And then if this is the part where if you have multiple classes who are all like, doing the same homework assignment or taking the same quiz, this is where you would add them. So before you hit save, hit this add sections button, and then it'll pop up all of your classes that you have, and you can just add any of them, that you want to add this category to. Hit OK, hit save changes, and then it automatically saves it for you. So when you close out of this, you should see it populate in your gradebook, and there it is. Perfect. And it's all set up and ready to go, and you can enter your grades, however many each kid got on their quiz. Maybe one kid failed it. Give him a 10. Okay, so you enter your grades, it'll show up in your gradebook, and then you hit save. Now, I'm obviously not going to hit save because then the students will see that and they'll be like, what? I haven't even started taking this class yet. How do I have grades already? Okay, so that's how you can do that. Now, if you accidentally add an assignment and you want to remove it, you can do that as well. So I'm going to save this. All you have to do is you click on it, and then you hit edit, I believe, and delete. And then it'll ask you, are you sure you want to delete it? And you hit OK. And then the nice thing is, if you added it to your other sections, it'll be like, do you want to delete it from your other sections as well? Absolutely. So you want to make sure that you get that deleted. And then you can close out of it and it'll remove it from your gradebook. Okay, so that's kind of how we add grades and do that kind of stuff. And if you have questions on it, just reach out to me and I can definitely help you out with any of that. A couple other things that I want to just kind of walk you through. So attendance will only show up on days when you actually have to take attendance. So if I go to like January of 2023, in theory, I should see kind of my students for each of my class periods. Okay, now you can also organize your students into seating charts. Okay, but you'll notice if you don't have a seating chart already established, it'll pop up with this message. So I wanted to show you quick how you establish seating charts. But essentially for your students, if they're absent, you would just hit the A, or if they're late to class, you would hit the T, and then you would hit the save button. Okay, so seating charts, let's go ahead and go down to that button really quick. You will have no seating charts when you first start Infinite Campus, so you are going to have to create new ones. So to do that, you would just hit the new button, and then you have to choose the section that you want to create the seating chart for. Now, this can get confusing because you are going to see your fall and spring classes in here. So you want to make sure that you're choosing the correct one. If you're not sure which is the correct one, you can go back to your gradebook and you can just make sure you're on the correct term, and then you can look and you'll see like this is your first period, second period, third period, etc. And then you can see the numbers right next to it, so you can make sure that you're hitting the correct seating chart for the correct group. So I'll go back to new. I'm going to create one for my orientation to teaching class, and you can name it with whatever the period is. So mine is during period 2, and then I usually just label it with like the semester that I have the class as well. You want to figure out how many columns and rows you have in your room. Sometimes, room setups can get a little weird, so that's just kind of up to you to figure out. I only have 2, and then I think I have 4 rows. So I only have 8 desks because I'm using like a small room for my class because I only have 6 kids. And then you can have it place your students, or you can have it not place your students or randomize them however you want. Since I only have 8, I'm not going to have it place it, and I'll show you how you can place it. So just create the chart. Okay, so it'll kind of create your setup here. And then if you don't have it place it, all your students will be up here. If you do have it place it, they'll be put in whatever order you asked it to be put in. And then you can just drag them around as you see fit. If you have too many desks, like, oh, I accidentally added an extra desk, you can just hit this X button. Or if you need another desk, you just drag a new desk on there. It's pretty sweet. And I have a couch in my room too. So if I wanted, I could add the couch back here, 2 people on the couch or whatever. So it's kind of fun. You can do it however you want. And then once you're done getting your seating chart for that class all set up the way you want it, you would just hit this save button. So then you'll notice once you go back to your attendance, if I go back to, whatever that day was that I was looking at, January 10th, we'll say, and I go to that period and I go seating chart. Oh man, I did the wrong one. Okay, well, in theory, it should show up, but I definitely created the wrong seating chart. So that's actually something good. So when I hit the new, so this was the class, but I actually have tutoring at the same time. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom, that was the one that I should have created the seating chart for. But anyways, you'll kind of get the hang of it. And some of your classes, like if you have a foundation student in there, they will populate like this. So it'll be like, your regular class and then your foundations class all in the same period. So you are going to want to make sure that you do that seating chart instead of the other ones. Okay, so that's setting up seating charts, the gist. Now, the other thing that I think is going to be really helpful to you as a new teacher is this reports button. So if you go all the way down, sometimes when you're scrolling, this little like thing appears that kind of shows you what you're scrolling over. So sometimes that covers it up. So just wait a second and then you'll be able to see it. So there are some reports that are going to be probably really helpful to you, and I have starred the ones that are helpful to me. Blank spreadsheets, missing assignments, and then a student summary. So the blank spreadsheet is like my favorite report. I use it every year. This literally just gives you like a blank spreadsheet for your class, and I use it for grades. So here you can select whatever term you're looking at. So I'll just continue to do my orientation course. Okay, and then you can rename it. So I'll do it orientation to teaching. And then you can choose how many columns you want. 15 is the max, so I usually just go with the 15. And then you can generate the PDF. Now, when you generate the PDF, what it does is it pulls up something like this. So you will have just 15 blank columns and your students' names on the side, which is really, really sweet. I use this as a hard copy gradebook because Infinite Campus is technology and technology tends to fail. So I highly recommend printing it out, keeping a hard copy record of all of your grades. And then it's nice too because when you get bigger classes, then you can just run down the line in Infinite Campus and input every grade, like boop, 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 right down the line because it's in alphabetical order, just like Infinite Campus is. So it makes it really easy for entering grades. And then should something happen, God forbid, on Infinite Campus where you lose everything, at least you'll still have the paper copy. It's also really nice because a lot of times what happens is, a week or two into the semester, you'll have a student move from one section of your class to another section of your class. So maybe they move, from sixth period to second period or something like that. their grade book does not travel with them. Okay, so all of their grades that you had entered, if they switch class periods, they're lost and they're gone. So if you don't have a paper copy, then you're not going to have any way to know what grade that student has. So it's always great to just have that paper copy as a backup. Now, the other one on here that I really like is this missing assignments report. So I like to print missing assignment reports for my students, like, maybe a couple times a quarter, just so they can kind of see, okay, here's what you're missing for the class, you got to get it turned in, etc. So again, you just select your term. I'm going to stay on spring, and then select whatever class you want, and then it'll say generate PDF. Now nothing's going to show up for me because my class hasn't started. I don't have any missing grades in the grade book. But when you hit generate PDF, it'll only pull up reports for those students who have missing grades, and it'll show you what assignments they're missing and what their current grade is in the class, and when the grade was assigned and all of that fun stuff. So it's really nice because then you can just print it off and hand those reports to the students. It only does one per page. So those are really nice to print off for students every now and then. And then the last one that I use sometimes is the student summary. I will especially use this for parent-teacher conferences. I like to have something physical to hand to the parents. So this is where you can just kind of do a report for the entire year. So you can see all of the students' grades and assignments and stuff. And there's lots of things that you can click on this, and you can kind of play around with it when the time comes, but this is something that's going to come in really handy. So that's a very brief overview of Infinite Campus. If you have any questions on anything beyond what I went through, feel free to reach out to me via email, and I'll help you the best that I can.